and he joins us right now on the Harbor One hotline. Morning, Devin.
Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Interesting week. I know that you are, if anybody is great at avoiding the noise outside, that would be you. But have you paid attention at all to any of the discussions about a brewing quarterback controversy on this football team?
I have not. But I've been here before when that's happened, so nothing is surprising.
From your side, and I know you're on the other side of the ball and you're focused on other things, but you've had a chance to look at film. When you look at Bailey Zappe, how impressive is what he did last week for you guys?
It was great, but I will be honest, I have not looked at the film on that side of the ball. So
Okay.
I couldn't give you the details, but, I think poise, obviously, and the ability to go out there and help the team win. And I think that's what it's about. I said it last week that everybody had confidence in him going out there playing, and he played to that. And I think it's important for us to continue to put the work in and not focus on, like what you just said, quarterback and all that other stuff. Let's just try to get 2 wins in a row. And I think that's really, what's been the focus in the building. We won week 2, then, you lose a couple games. Now you have a chance to, start to become a good football team by putting good plays together, good weeks together, and getting back-to-back wins. That's really been the focus.
Dev, familiar face comment or you're going to be seeing on Sunday is Jacoby Brissett. Is it a good thing or a negative thing to play against somebody that was your teammate before because you feel like you know him, but then he knows you? Do you look at it as an advantage or a disadvantage?
Honestly, like you said, it could be both. I look at it as fun. Jacoby was a young dude. When he got here, I was an older guy, and, we still talk a good amount. Great dude, and, I'm going to have fun competing against him, talking trash to him. But I think overall, like our team, there's probably only a few guys on defense that was even here when Jacoby was here. I think myself and Jay Jones and Dietrich Wise probably the only 3 guys that, probably even play with him on this defense. So, he knows some of our defense, and I think we know him as a player, a couple of us, but I don't think that'll have a huge impact on this game because we just don't have that much time from a personnel standpoint of knowing each other. And then some years have passed, even scheme-wise. So, but I know personally it would be fun just to go out there and compete against them.
And just a heads up, N'Keal Harry said he circled this game on the schedule when the schedule came out, so be careful.
Are you talking about next week?
Next week on the schedule. Just be extra careful and get ready for that, please.
You gotta bring that joke back out next week, right?
Dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal on that one. Go ahead. Curtis, go ahead.
Devin, I know you commented on this yesterday. Robert Kraft donated $50 million to the Mass General Hospital for equity in health care. What did that mean to you, and what have you thought of that decision by Robert Kraft to put that investment into the hospital?
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I think we've obviously had a lot of conversations about, multiple things outside of football throughout my time here. And we were just actually talking about, sick or so a couple of weeks ago and some of the advancements and things that have been going on. And, he let me know there that he had something coming up that was going to be pretty special. But I didn't imagine it was going to be that, $50 million donation. I think it's awesome. It's going to go a long way. It's going to help out a lot of families, a lot of young people. I think when you talk about health and equity that, grow up with some disadvantages and don't understand why, now won't have to experience that. Their parents won't have to explain certain things to them. They won't, they'll be able to get great care without having to think about it. I think that means a lot in our country. And I think him being a pioneer and somebody in the forefront always of trying to make a change and make things better is cool. And, I said it earlier this week, it's awesome to be a part of this organization when they stand for things like that.
Dev, Nick Chubb, obviously a former Bulldog, when you look at him, when you look at him as a runner, what makes him so difficult? You know, what does he possess that makes him such a difficult guy to defend?
I think strength, balance, and speed. I mean, obviously, I think everybody sees the workout videos in the off season of him squatting and everything like that. And you see how strong his legs are. And I think the balance, you watch people hit him, whether it's defensive backs, linebackers, D linemen, and if they don't wrap him up, you know, he just might take it 2 steps one way and just keep running. And I think the hardest thing is usually when we talk about guys that are that powerful and strong, we don't really talk about them having like that home run breakaway speed, but he has all of that. And you've seen it throughout the years of his time in NFL, of the 70-yarders, the huge runs where guys can't catch him. So obviously the biggest challenge of the year, and probably will be, you know, the biggest challenge of the year when you talk about stopping a running game with their offensive line with Chubb. And then when Chubb gets a break, you got to go in there and try to compete and tackle Kareem Hunt. So, you know, we'll have 60 minutes of trying to figure those guys out, gang tackling, and, you know, as much as possible getting them on the ground.
Devin, 2-3 going into the game this Sunday. Just curious, as you've sort of grown in your leadership position on the roster, the team has entered a different phase where you were almost never trying to get back to 500. How much is on the line this Sunday, and how do you sort of temper the down moments, considering it was so rare for you to be on a team that was in a rebuild or trying to get, you know, a young team trying to grow?
Yeah, I mean, you just keep playing. I think now we look back at moments and say how rare it was. But, I think in 2014 we were 1-2 at a point. We've been in situations starting seasons off 1-2 or something maybe not exactly the same, but in situations in that moment, not knowing what the future held, people were, maybe this team is not as good as we thought. Like we've always been in situations like that. And I don't think you can think about it like that. You just got to go play. Brian Flores used to say it to us all the time in any big game we played. Don't get ahead of yourself thinking about, we're up right now, we're down right now, just one play at a time, and continue to do that throughout the game. And I think that's what we'll have to do Sunday, one play at a time. Getting to 3-3 won't win us any championship. So we just got to continue to do what we've been doing, working hard and trying to go out there. And I think each play win our matchup against whoever we're going against, and that'll give us a good shot.
Dev, every game that you guys played in, except for maybe the Baltimore game, defensively, you guys did a good job collectively. What is it when you think about, Stephen Belichick and Jerod Mayo? What makes them unique as coaches? For them to be these young guys and not too far removed from Gerod's playing days. What makes them such unique coaches that have a great understanding of going out there and calling defenses, and have put you guys in a position where, defensively, you guys done a good job, especially holding people to scoring?
Yeah, I think first their relationship. I think they both work so well together. I think it's been in question over the last couple of years of, we always, when you mention our defense, we always mention two guys. We mention Steve and Mayo, and I think people don't understand their relationship and how well they work together and getting things done. And I think the second part is just how relatable they are to all the guys. And I think our defense runs not just through them two, it runs through the whole coaching staff to every player in there. We have so many conversations of what, we think we should do or what's going to be the best solution to a problem an offense presents. And that's a lot of ongoing conversation with multiple people. And obviously they make the final decisions in those things. But I think them being able to, be open and understanding about, the different opinions in the room or how guys have played things, there's always some back and forth. And I think that's really been really good for our defense, over the last few years, and especially this year, of having that, this is our defense mentality when we take the field as players. We're responsible not only for our play, but everything we put in all week. And I think guys play to that.
Devin, is Matt Judon the best player in the NFL? Best defensive player in the NFL.
He's playing like it right now. I'm sure people will name other people, but he's just been so disruptive. And, I think his ability to have an impact on the game from the first play of the game has been huge for us. And, I think he has taken that challenge on this year of saying, I'm going to make sure, I'm the best player on the field each Sunday, not because people think that, but because of my play. And I think that's been huge for us defensively. And you saw in, all of these games, really, the impact he's had, not just like late in the game or a key moment, but like the opening drive of, setting the tone. And we're going to rely on him to continue to do that throughout the season.
We talked to you a couple weeks ago about concussion protocol. NFL has made some changes. But do you worry about a risk that officials are going to continue to overcompensate when it comes to protecting the quarterback?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think one thing has anything to do with the other. I think our league is built on quarterbacks being out there and playing, and I saw some of like the roughing the passer penalties and all those different things. I mean, that's always going to be a conversation. It's always going to be a topic of what isn't. I watched this game. This looked like, they called it and, the roughing the passer. This game looks like the same play. They didn't call it. So I think that's what we're in. I think that's the league we're in. It's always going to be some focus on protecting the quarterback. I don't think that'll ever change, in this league. So, I think that kind of is what it is. You got to, as we always say, do business as business is being done out there on the field on Sundays.
Dev, you talked about the relationship between Mayo and Belichick and how they're relatable. And I remember when I played, I got to a point in my career where I could say offensively on a third down, hey, let's run this play because I feel like I could do this.
I'm open, Tom.
Yeah, you get to that point. You're at the position, you, maybe Dedrick Wise, Matthew Judon. Do you ever get the flexibility to say, hey, coach, maybe we should run this defense because we're seeing this? Do they give you guys that input to maybe give them some insight on certain plays that you feel like you might want to run throughout the game?
Yeah, definitely. We do that. There's times, not just this season, but other seasons where, suggested an adjustment that we can make that we might have done in years past. And, I think that's just from my experience. But within games, sometimes me and Steve will talk, or Steve will come up to Jay Jones or Jay Mills and be like, hey, next third down, what do you guys like? Like that happens all the time. And there's times that as players, we're in the game and we're like, man, I think this call will really hit. And that's not really the kind of like the coaching staff believes in. I think every guy in our room's preparation, studying, same thing with Bentley, and being prepared. And if we suggest something, we're out there playing. I think that's acceptable, really, I think, throughout the locker room, with any guy, especially defensively.
All right, Devin, enjoy Cleveland. As Curtis would say, it is a banger of a city.
Oh, what a town.
I mean, hopefully you're heading out there today. There's a lot. Hopefully you get out there early and take in some of the sightes. There's a lot going on out there.
No, you guys should talk to Wiggy. We don't go anywhere early to take in sites.
No.
Business trip.
Yeah.
Unless it's Miami.
You got a couple hours for dinner, and that's it.
You have to go. You have to go? You guys should go early and adjust to the smog from the fire on the lake, the trash smoke from Cleveland. All right, Devin, great to talk to you.
All right, guys, have a good weekend.